Welcome back to the channel, friends. Today we are talking with Ginger Nichelle of Elle Royalty Clothing about her brand and finding out what Tiana might wear if she was wearing Elle Royalty Clothing. I'll also be showing you how I made my Tiana tiara. Say that 3 times fast. So let's jump into it. So Ginger, how did you come up with the name Elle Royalty and how did you get into making fashion?
Well, funny story, how I got into fashion was when I was 8 years old, I was making clothes for my Barbies and loved it. Took a sewing class when I was like 11 or 12 at Joann's. From there, went to high school, started a fashion club, was the first fashion club at Valencia High, so hey. And went to college and studied design. So that's really how I got into it. I was really just playing with my Barbies as a child and really just loving fashion.
Where did the name Elle Royalty come from?
When I first thought of the name, I thought I was going to do Lolita fashion exclusively. I came up with Lolita Royalty Clothing. This was probably back in 2010, 2011. But from there, I didn't want to just stick with Lolita because it has so many rules to it. So I just kind of put a little L period royalty, and I can be inspired by Lolita, inspired by Harajuku fashion, inspired by all those things, but not put into a certain box.
What are some of your influences for the Elle Royalty brand?
Well, one of my main influence is Barbie because she's so just unapologetic about who she is. She's had so many careers. She's had hundreds of careers, technically. I love that in the show, she says, "Oh, I'm always in a pink mood," because that's how I feel too. Like, I just want to have pink hair all the time. So I feel like very connected to her aesthetic. I love also that Ken don't even live with her. Oh God, that's so funny. Like, he does not live with her. I was like, see, babe, she got a whole house and got 2 sisters or 3 sisters. Anyway.
When you're designing, do you have the idea first in your head, or does the fabric guide you? Do accessories guide you? How do you come to your designing process?
For what inspires me when I'm designing is actually the fabric. I typically buy the fabric before I know what I'm really making. And then I will kind of design while pattern making, if that makes sense too. Because I don't drape as much. Some things I do drape, but typically I flat pattern just because I need to see the shape flat for some reason. I don't know. My art brain is a little different.
What is your current pride and joy item you have designed or have up in your shop?
So the items that I have that I think are my pride and joy, I would say my raincoats are like probably my number one because those seem to be my best sellers. That was like one of my first items that was sold overseas on my Etsy shop. And honestly, this coat, that's why it's also in the video, because it is one of my favorite because it's pink and it's florals and it's extra. And I just feel like an absolute queen while I'm wearing that outfit.
What are some misconceptions that people have as a small business owner and a small business owner who happens to be Black as well?
A lot of people do want to put me into a box or put me in a certain category. And I don't really feel like I'm in a certain category other than, yeah, I do contemporary clothing and I do dresses and outerwear. Like, I mean, those are kind of the boxes that I should be put in. But I think the expectation also is just higher for me. Like I said, I've been working in the industry like 10 years and I've been on a couple reality shows and things like that. And every time the expectation for me is always higher than someone else. Like when I was on this design reality show, they would try to, in the confessionals, have me confess to some tragic backstory. Like, I don't have some kind of crazy tragic story that makes my art good. Like, I just worked really hard. And there was one episode that the judge was kind of making it seem like I was going to lose.
Black women have to be 10 times better just to be seen half as good. We have to give 200%. If we give 199, it's never enough. Ever.
I want you to know something, Ginger. I never actually said you're going home. This is a non-elimination round.
Oh my God.
fashion industry, they do have to work harder. It's not fair and it's not right. So the fact that she's a voice for the community, good for the world and for Los Angeles to say this shouldn't happen, and I want to be another person out there that can do this and jump above hurdles and in between hoops and all of that to get there is amazing. And I love her, and I'm so glad she can stay.
And that was the time where I broke down crying, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna tell the world now. I was like, as a Black woman, you gotta work 10 times as harder just to be seen. And I try to do that. But I just feel like sometimes it almost seems like it's not enough, because I'm one person and I'm doing the pattern making, the sewing, the designing, the shipping, the customer service, the emails, the promoting. Like, I'm doing like really a one-woman show.
Yeah, there's definitely something interesting in that. I've noticed a lot of media tends to like martyrize or make a martyr out of Black stories, and instead of Black greatness can come from just hard work. There doesn't have to be tragedy behind it. Like, we don't have to make martyrs out of everybody.
My skin color, I can't change that. I've been Black almost 33 years at this point. It's part of who I am. It's my identity. It's what people see first, but why should I, feel like, oh, everything I do, it has to be a political statement, or I got to speak on behalf of all Black people everywhere. It's like, I'm just speaking for myself and my experiences. That's all I want. And also by myself, because it's cute. That's all I want. I wanted to go over, just show you some of my sketches that I've made for Tiana, and just kind of get a little bit of your feedback of what you think, being a customer and being a Disney princess in real life, and really knowing what princesses would wear. I want to talk about my Tiana raincoat kind of cape situation that I designed. The sketch for that one, what I was thinking was making petals that are kind of similar to her dress, so that kind of petal lily pad look, but it would just be like a cape layer and maybe 2 or 3 layers on the top that looks like petals. And then I would have some kind of flower here at center front, and maybe a stand collar. Maybe it goes with a hook and eye, or maybe tie. What are you thinking about that one? Oh, and then it would be made out of green vinyl, since it's raincoat. So green kind of clear vinyl. So what are your thoughts about that look? Would you say Tiana would wear this little raincoat, little capelet?
Oh yeah.
What was that?
Yeah. Is that still going?
Oh, wait, I think it's gone now. It was weird. I heard something too. I was like, it's kind of like a cough or something.
Yeah, or a roar.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this design is really cute. I love that it emulates her petals on her dress. I feel like Tiana would be pretty extra now that she's got that like bougie money. Like, I mean, I guess her prince is broke, but she's making all the money on her.
Yes.
Anytime you see her in like her fantasy element, or when she actually does get her her restaurant, she's dressed to the nines.
Yeah.
In 2020, she would be wearing whatever is like the most on trend, or really setting the trends too. So yeah, I think this is really cute, and I know it's kind of damp down there in Louisiana, so you wouldn't want to get whatever she spent her good money on wet. So yeah, this is super cute.
Great, thank you. I like it too. I mean, I love designing my raincoats, and those are like the more popular items on my website. So that's why the first thing I thought of, I was like, okay, if she wore raincoats or like garments, what would that look like? I thought about doing a trench coat just because her first look, she's wearing a duster with her yellow dress underneath. But I mean, she's a princess now, so now she gets to do whatever she wants. She's a princess. She got her restaurant. She got her man. She can do whatever she wants now. She don't have to wear no duster. So
yeah, absolutely.
Out of my thought process for that one. Another idea I had of a kind of like a cocktail kind of look. I want to play with using these kind of sleeves. I kind of have them on right now, actually, but these sleeves that have just a opening. I would probably move the opening here instead of like the underarm seam. But a cocktail dress that kind of plays with, it's kind of a cape, but it's kind of long sleeves. It's fitted, corseted, kind of sweetheart top, and just a pencil kind of skirt, maybe go a little bit above the knee, and a little bit, maybe a little flower, just also tying back to her look in Princess and the Frog and her ending look. So what are your thoughts about that look? Would you think she would wear this as a little after 5 cocktail dress, or would you change maybe the neckline or something like that?
Oh, no. What in the world?
So unless there's a ghost up in here messing with me, they need to start paying part of this mortgage.
Someone's haunting us. This is actually, I think, my favorite of all the designs. I'm a sucker for a big dramatic sleeve. And I like that you said that you would move it here, because like if the cut is underneath, you kind of lose all the drama of having that cut there. So yeah, I think having it here would be cool. I like the idea of it kind of starting lower, so you get that kind of like, ooh, peekaboo capelet. Yeah, I love the like peekaboo, like corset, like the keyhole. That's it.
Yes.
With the contrast. I always love a good contrast, and I'm a sucker for a good corset. So
yes.
Absolutely my favorite. Like, let's see those curves. Let's see that leg. And again, I love that accent of her little boutonniere flower on the waist. So yeah, this is my favorite design.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, I really liked it too. I mean, I want to play with these sleeves. I've had that kind of idea for a while, but I feel like it's always someone that's a little bit extra, because they're really all about drama and like making an entrance, and because you wouldn't wear this just like, let me just go to, McDonald's or something. I mean, you can, but this is definitely a drama look. So I was like, well, if it's after 5, it's not a red carpet ball gown, but she can still make an entrance and look elegant. That's what I was thinking. I haven't thought about fabrics yet. I will say that for this one. I haven't really thought about the color palette or things like that. I think I need to see some fabrics and just kind of get inspired and kind of see what I find. But I would probably keep it the color palette of her dress from the movie, that kind of soft pastel kind of green, and just light yellow, or buttercream as you called it, because now I'm learning colors now, because I just call them they're basic as they are. Just like that light kind of buttercream or ivory kind of mixed colors, I would probably do that with that one.
Well,
yeah.
For the sleeve, is this going to be, or would this be detachable? Because I love the idea of being able to get like 2 looks out of this, because the corset dress itself is a look, and then the sleeve thing is a look, and I feel like that'd be fun to be able to pair it with other looks. Is that something that you would consider doing?
Yeah, actually that would be a great idea if the top was kind of a shrug in a sense, and maybe it just kind of goes straight in the back, and then you can just untuck it. Yeah, I didn't actually think of that, but that would be great, because then you can wear it with other outfits, and you can kind of switch it up. So actually, that's a good idea. Maybe I'll actually do that, because that would be great to have separates, because I love separates and mixing things. So
for sure, yeah. No, I think that'd be cool to see one of these, if not all of them, recreated at some point. But whatever you have time for. I know I just it's on you.
yeah, that's the tough part, but I mean, I guess this is kind of how I would reimagine her in an Elle Royalty kind of look. Do you still feel like, if you saw this and knowing my brand and my aesthetic?
And as promised, here's how I made Tiana's tiara. I took the same white taffeta that I used on the rest of the dress and cut 10 petals, 2 for each petal, making the center one the biggest and each one on the sides smaller and smaller. I sewed around, leaving the bottom open, flipped them right sides out, and ironed. Then I cut some wire and shoved it into the petal so that it would be posable, and pinned each petal onto a piece of bias tape that I cut from the same green fabric as the dress. I stitched over the bottom, closing up everything, making sure not to break a needle on the wires and securing the wires tight inside the petal. Then, doing a horrible job getting it on camera, I wrapped the wires around a metal headband. Then I finished the bias tape as I normally would and hand-stitched it closed. I found these interesting pearls on a piece of plastic string in the floral wedding section of a Hobby Lobby, and so I pulled them apart and took the raw edge of each piece and threaded it through an embroidery needle. I then pushed the embroidery needle through the fabric of the headband. Then I popped the pearl bead at the very bottom off of the plastic string so that it would be free for me to push it down to the bottom and thread the raw end of the bushel back up through it to secure it down tight, and then dabbed a little glue in to make it stay. But the headband was still looking a bit plain, so I decided to doll it up with more gemstones that I used on the rest of the dress. I added fake pearls up the center of the flower petals, a single clear rhinestone on the top of the petals, and then crystal AB rhinestones along the headband itself. And with that, Tiana was complete. Thank you guys so much for watching, I really appreciate it. Don't forget that the dress is still up for auction if you are interested in purchasing it. And don't forget to give Ginger a follow. She is just so kind and talented, and I could not have done this without her. So a big, big thank you to Ginger, and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!